I know I failed you, but I tried to save you, Jason. I'm trying to save you now.
Bruce, I forgive you for not saving me. But why? Why on God's earth is he still alive?
If you walk into the center of the Batcave, the first thing that catches your eye is a glass display case holding a red sweater and a green cape. It has no plaque, no dedication, and no hero's name written on it. It sits in the dark, acting less like a memorial and more like a permanent warning. Every time Bruce Wayne descends into that cave, he is forced to look at it, and he is forced to remember that he failed the most basic duty of a parent. He let his child die. The story of Bruce and Jason is usually told as a superhero rivalry. You have Batman, the man with the line he will not cross, and Red Hood, the person who uses weapons and does the dirty work. But if you look past the masks and the leather jackets, it is actually one of the most painful father-son stories in comics. It is a tragedy about two people who love each other, who want to be in the same room, but are separated by a wall of absolute moral disagreement. Let us go back to the beginning. Jason does not start as a replacement. He starts as a kid in Crime Alley, the same alley where Bruce's parents were shot. Bruce finds him stealing the tires off the Batmobile. In a city where criminals run from the Bat, a kid with no food and no parents sees the most feared vehicle in the world and thinks he can get $50 for those. Bruce does not call the police. He looks at this kid and sees himself. He sees the raw, unguided rage of a child who has been abandoned by the world. Bruce takes him in because he believes he can save him. Dick Grayson had already left to become his own man, and Bruce was alone in the cave again. But Dick was different. Dick was a performer, a kid from a circus who understood balance and had a light heart. Jason was street tough. He was angry. He was Catherine Todd's son, a kid who watched his mother die of an overdose and his father disappear into the mob. When Bruce puts the Robin suit on Jason, he is making a deal. He is saying that he will teach him how to fight. He will give him a home, and in exchange, Jason will let him guide his anger. But you cannot train rage out of a child. You can only give it a direction. Jason did not want to be a detective. He wanted to hurt the people who made the world like this. The training itself showed the gap between them. Bruce tried to teach Jason the same acrobatics and graceful maneuvers that came naturally to Dick Grayson. He wanted Jason to move like a circus performer, light and elusive. But Jason was built for brawling. His movements were heavy, direct, and aggressive. He did not want to dodge. He wanted to hit back. Every session in the gym was a silent argument about how a hero is supposed to move, with Bruce trying to force a street kid into a mold that did not fit his bones. Where Dick would move with grace and follow the rules, Jason was aggressive. He used too much force. In the comics, there is a story where a diplomat's son named Felipe Garzonas, a man who abused women and got away with it because of diplomatic immunity, falls from a balcony after Jason confronts him. Batman arrives and finds Jason standing at the edge. The comic leaves it open. Did he jump, or did Jason push him? Jason says he slipped, but the look on Bruce's face is the first time he realizes that the kid he is training might not be a hero. He might be an executioner, and then Ethiopia happens. In 1988, the fans voted to kill him. A kid's life was decided by a telephone poll where 72 votes made the difference between living and dying. Jason had traveled across the world to find his biological mother, Sheila Haywood, hoping to find a connection that was clean. But Sheila was embezzling aid funds and was being blackmailed by the Joker. When the choice came down to protecting her son or saving herself, she handed Jason over. The Joker beat the boy with a crowbar in a locked warehouse, and his mother watched. Jason spent his final minutes trying to shield the woman who had just betrayed him, throwing his body over hers when the timer on the bomb ran out. That is the moment Bruce Wayne breaks. The Robin suit in the glass case in the Batcave is not a memorial. It is an accusation. It sits there in the dark, a constant reminder that Bruce failed the most basic job of a father. He let his son die. He carried that guilt for years, letting it harden him, letting it make him more isolated. He kept the suit in the center of the cave, where he had to see it every time he put on the cowl, using his own failure as a whip to keep himself from ever trusting another child. But the real tragedy is not the death. It is what happens when Jason comes back. In 2005, reality cracks, and Jason Todd wakes up inside his coffin. He digs his way out with his bare fingernails, wanders the streets in a catatonic state, and is eventually taken to the Lazarus Pit by Talia al Ghul. The Lazarus Pit restores his mind, but it also locks his anger in place. The green waters do not just heal the flesh, they introduce a chemical madness, a survival panic that burns away whatever soft edges were left. The first thing Jason does when he gets his head straight is check the news. He wants to know what his father did to the man who beat him to death with a crowbar. He expects to see a city without a Joker. He expects to see a father who loved him enough to break his own rules. Instead, he finds out the Joker is still alive, still running around Gotham, still killing people, still laughing. And that is when the relationship stops being about a dead sidekick and starts being about a moral war. Jason does not become Red Hood because he wants to rule the mob. He does it to show Bruce that his system does not work. Before he returned to Gotham, Jason spent years traveling the world, recreating the path Bruce took to become Batman. But his goal was different. He went to the same mercenaries, the same bomb makers, and the same martial arts masters, but he did not ask them how to disarm an opponent. He asked them how to end them. He took Bruce's training and stripped away the restraint, turning the detective's toolkit into an array of lethal techniques. Red Hood's logic is simple. You cannot stop crime, you can only control it. If you kill the bad ones, the others stay in line. It is a pragmatic, brutal view of the world that Bruce cannot accept. For Bruce, the line against killing is the only thing keeping him from becoming the monster he fights. If he crosses it once, he never stops. This leads to the confrontation in the apartment in Crime Alley. Jason has the Joker tied to a chair. He hands Bruce a gun and gives him a choice. He says it is him or me. You either kill him right now, or I will. If you do not shoot me, I am going to put a bullet in his head. It's like you could feel the pressure of this scene, and that's one of the reasons why I like this animation so much. Jason is not asking Bruce to kill the Joker because he hates the Joker. He is asking it because he wants to know if Bruce's rules are more important than his son's life. He is asking if Bruce loves his code more than he loved his child. Then Bruce refuses and throws a batarang at the gun in Jason's hand, destroying it before he can shoot the Joker. Jason then activates the bomb he planted inside the building. Bruce goes for the bomb, but the Joker holds him back, determined to let all three of them die together. Bruce manages to break free and lunges toward Jason as the explosion tears the room apart. But when the smoke clears, Jason is already gone. Bruce chose the code, and in Jason's eyes, that batarang was the second time Bruce let him die. In the end, what makes this relationship so complicated is that they never actually stop trying. Jason keeps coming back to the family. He wears the bat symbol on his chest. He sits at the table. He helps Dick and Tim and Damien. He wants Bruce's approval more than he wants to admit. And Bruce keeps letting him back in. He keeps giving him keys to the cave, keeps checking on him, keeps trying to save him. The presence of the other Robins only makes the dynamic more tense. Dick Grayson looks at Jason and sees his own failure as an older brother, the kid he should have protected. Tim Drake, the boy who took the Robin mantle after Jason died, represents how easily the system replaced him. To Jason, Tim is proof that he was just a tool in Bruce's war, a piece of equipment that was swapped out when it broke. And Damian Wayne, who was raised by assassins to kill without hesitation, is a constant mirror of the path Jason chose. But they are stuck. Jason cannot let go of the idea that Bruce's mercy is actually a form of cowardice. He looks at every person the Joker has killed since 1988 and sees them as victims of Bruce's refusal to do what needs to be done. And Bruce cannot let go of the idea that Jason's violence is a sickness he has to cure. He looks at Jason with a gun and sees the alley, the thief, the kid he failed to raise right. He thinks that if he can just get Jason to drop the guns, he can finally sleep at night. Jason is not Batman's failure because he died. He is the failure Bruce believes he never has the right to abandon. You can see it in how they talk to each other. Every conversation is a negotiation about limits. Bruce wants Jason to be a hero on his terms. Jason wants Bruce to be a father on his. And neither of them can yield without destroying who they are. This goes beyond a simple story of two characters in comic books. This is the story of every parent who has watched their child grow up to make choices they hate. It is the story of the parent who wants to help, who wants to protect, but realizes that the child is now an adult operating by different rules. And it is the story of every child who realizes that their parents' love has conditions. It is the story of the child who realizes that, to be accepted, they have to fit into a mold that does not fit them anymore. Jason wants Bruce to accept him as Red Hood, to say that he uses guns, he kills, but he is still his son. And Bruce cannot say that, because to say that would mean admitting that his own life, his own code, is a lie. The tragedy is that the love is real. If they hated each other, it would be easy. Jason would just leave Gotham and never look back. Bruce would lock him in Arkham and treat him like any other criminal, but they do not. They keep orbiting each other, two people who want the same thing, but are speaking languages the other refuses to learn. I had a friend whose father was a military man. He was a colonel who ran his house like a regiment. My friend wanted to be an artist. He was not a rebel. He was not a troublemaker. Just a kid who wanted to paint instead of enlist. His father did not hit him. He did not scream. He just withdrew the approval. He stopped asking about his life. He looked at his son's paintings and saw a waste of time. My friend spent 10 years trying to get that man to look at his work and say it was good. He went to art school, he won awards, he sold pieces to galleries. And every time he showed his father a success, the colonel would just ask if he had a pension plan yet. Eventually, my friend stopped showing him the paintings. They still have dinner, they still talk about the weather, but the real part of his life is something his father is not allowed to see. It is sad, but it is the only way they can stay in the same house. Jason and Bruce do not have the luxury of talking about the weather. Their work is too loud. Every time Jason pulls a trigger, Bruce hears it. Every time Bruce lets a villain go, Jason has to watch them walk. They are locked in a room where the only way out is for one of them to admit they were wrong, even though, in a city like Gotham, nobody is ever admitting that. The most painful thing about Jason Todd is that he is the only one who sees Batman clearly. He does not see a hero, and he does not see a monster. He sees a father who is terrified of what happens if he lets go of his rules. A man who is willing to let his son walk away rather than admit that sometimes the rules are not enough. And Bruce is going to keep looking at the glass case in the cave. He's going to keep looking at the red emblem on Jason's chest. He does not do it because he thinks he can change him anymore, but because as long as Jason is out there, Bruce does not have to face the fact that some things cannot be fixed. Some relationships just break, and the only thing left to do is watch the pieces on the floor.